when you look at that and the magnitude of the game that's going to be played, I think this is the biggest. If not the biggest ever, because it's the toughest form of the game. It's a format that tests you. It's not happened over 3 days or 3 months. It's happened over 2 years, where teams have played each other around the world and earned their stripes to play the final. So it's one heck of an event. This.
Yeah, I agree with the same. I think this holds a lot of value, especially this being the first of its kind, and in the toughest format, as Ravi mentioned. All of us take a lot of pride in playing Test cricket, and the way we have progressed as a side is an example of what Test cricket means to us. So for all of us as a unit, those who have been part of the Test side for many years, this is like an accumulation of all the hard work of not just the duration of the championship, but of the last 5-6 years since the time we started really coming up the ranks and building as a side, and we're just very, very happy to have the opportunity to play the finals. Well, I don't think that there's any frontier for us. I mean, if you look at our transition was really smooth because we are all committed to keeping Indian cricket on top and being the best team in the world, and we've continued to do that. In Test cricket, we have finished number one for a few years in a row now, and now you see youngsters coming in. So another transition is going on within the team. So I don't think this is the final frontier, and after this, we have no idea where to go. This is an ongoing process to keep the standard of Indian cricket high, and we have done our duty for the last 5-6 years with absolute commitment. Now the transition phase is going on, where our responsibility is to instill the same passion and commitment in the next lot of players so that we remain on top for more years to come. And that's how the progress of cricket really happens. So we have worked hard for the finals. There's no doubt in anyone's mind that we were probably going to be the first team to be featuring in that final because of the way we played in the last few years Test cricket. So for us, it's just about keeping those standards high, and it's like football. If you win one Champions League, you don't stop working hard. You want to win 2 and 3 and 4. So this is exactly our mindset. If you've made it to the final once, we absolutely want to win it, and then on to the next, restructure, plan, move ahead for the next 3-4 years, and then again plan to be the top side in the world. In the past, we have landed in places 3 days prior, even in a proper schedule, and have had hell of a series and hell of competition. So I think it's all in the head. If it's how you look at the situation currently. It's not the first time you're playing in England. We all know what the conditions are like. And even if you're used to the conditions, if you don't enter the field in the right frame of mind, you're going to nick that first ball, or you're going to find it tough to pick wickets. So I think the hunger and the desire to be there and play the finals, we don't have any issues even with 4 practice sessions heading into the game, because we are absolutely sure of what we can do as a team. And we all have played in England. We all have played in England before this as well, whether it's with the Indian team or India A as well, for the likes of Siraj and them. They've all had experience there in the conditions, so we are not bothered by that at all. And we just want to get there and make the most of the opportunity at hand. Well, firstly, I'm 4 years older, so that's one difference. But apart from that, I don't think the mindset has changed at all. The mindset was always to go there and perform for my team. Then I had a chance to lead in 2018, and contrary of the acceptance on the outside, we understand the kind of cricket that we played there, and how much pride we took out of playing the way we did, competing in every game, and literally losing every test match in a span of hour and a half. We were never outplayed, barring the test at Lords. So I only see it as an evolution of my situation, my position in the team. Now we're going there for the World Test Championship Finals, which if in 2014 you would have told me 7-8 years down the line we'll be going to England again to play a World Test Championship Final, I would have had a tough time to believe that. And then 2018 was the start of us really going out there and performing away from home, really having that belief. Then Australia happened. So it's no different, to be honest. I've stopped looking at things as ultimate tasks and tests that you need to pass every now and then. For me, it's about just being committed to making sure that I contribute in every game that I play for the team and lead in the right manner to keep moving the team forward. With the current structure and the kind of structure that we are competing inside, it's to be very honest, for a long period of time, it's very difficult for the players to stay motivated and find the right kind of mental space, just confined in one area and just doing the stuff day in, day out and, dealing with high pressure situations. So this will definitely become a norm of the future where, apart from the workloads, I think the mental health side of things will also come into the picture big time, because you don't have an outlet at all in today's day and age. You're literally going to the ground, coming back to the room, and you have no space where you can just disconnect from the game and just go out for a walk or go out for a meal or a coffee and say, okay, let me refresh myself. Let me just get away from the game a little bit. So I think this is a huge factor which should not be neglected, because as much hard work as we've done to create this team, you don't want players falling out because of the mental pressures and not having the capacity or the space to express themselves. So I think there has to always be that channel open, which the management has left it open, for players to approach them and tell them, look, I'm not feeling right in the head and I just need a little break and I just want to disconnect from the game. So I think that's going to be a huge factor, and I'm sure Ravi and the management feels the same.
And you'll see it during the Test series. When you, I'm not talking of the World Test Championship, but if you want to add that as well, when you have to play 5 Test matches in this environment in 6 weeks, it's no joke. I mean, even the fittest will need a break. More than the physical part, it's the mental part. Like Virat mentioned, you can be destroyed mentally. Being asked to do the same things day in, day out, and then go and perform. And it's not easy to recover, especially if you've had a bad day. So, it's important that you shuffle the guys around and keep them mentally fresh. This is not the physical part of it. It's keep them mentally fresh because of the circumstances prevailing.
I feel like, after you're done with the World Test Championship, I think it's a great opportunity to refresh, restructure. Hopefully if things are okay, out in England, we would have finished our quarantine periods, and just for the guys to be normal for a few days and just disconnect again, because understanding that we have the pressure of a 5-match series. So like in Australia, to be very honest, if we had to compete inside a bubble for that long a period of time through the whole tour, it would have been very, very tough. The fact that we had a little bit of freedom to go out and just access the kind of things that the locals were, gave us a bit more space and a bit more time to reset and refresh. So I think it's absolutely fine. It'll give us time to regroup as a side and prepare again for a long series, and that kind of a setup is very important before you go into a lengthy series. And we know that playing 5 tests in England can be very challenging and daunting. So we want to have the most amount of time before that series to set up for those 5 games and just be in that zone from there on. I think play better test cricket. That's all. Conditions are as potent for New Zealand as they are for us. Australian conditions should have favoured Australia, but we beat them twice in 2 series. So it's how you look at the situation. If you want us to board the flight from here feeling like New Zealand's got the edge, then there's no point taking that flight. We are going to board that flight knowing that we are at equal terms, and whichever team performs well session by session, hour by hour, is going to win that championship, and we have no doubts on that. मेरे लिए तो कोई चैलेंज नहीं है. टीम के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से काफ़ी चैलेंजिंग समय रहा है हमारे लिए. अभी तो हमारा एंजॉय करने का टाइम है. एक मैच हमने 5-6 साल जो मेहनत करी है, जैसे मैंने बोला, उसको एंजॉय करने का समय है अभी. तो हमारा देखने का नज़रिया काफ़ी अलग रहता है जैसे लोग सोचते हैं बाहर. उससे अगर हम लोगों की तरह सोचेंगे तो परफॉर्मेंस नहीं हो पाएगा. तो मेरे ऊपर तो कोई प्रेशर नहीं है, क्योंकि मैं इस पोजीशन में जहाँ पे मुझे रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी दी गई है, ना मैं किसी मोटिव की वजह से, ना मैं किसी दूसरे रीज़न की वजह से इस रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी को निभा रहा हूँ. मैं सिर्फ इंडियन क्रिकेट को आगे ले जाने के लिए कमिटेड हूँ, जो मैं रहूँगा जब तक मैं ये गेम खेलूँगा. तो मेरे ऊपर ना तो कभी पहले प्रेशर रहा है और ना आगे रहेगा, क्योंकि जब तक मैं 100% कमिटेड हूँ टीम के लिए और अपने